Hello and welcome to Dumb Philosophy. Sorry about my hair. I just got out of the shower. My name is Aaron, and this is my apartment in Brooklyn. And anyway, thanks for checking out my channel. So when I was in college, I studied philosophy, and that's why I've decided to make this channel because I'm a big fan of philosophy. But why dumb philosophy, right? Well, it turns out that everyone is a philosopher. And it's dumb that people think that that's not true. You know, there's this whole kind of elitist mentality around philosophy, which is silly. And I'm going to prove it really quickly. So, you know, a lot of people I know either look down on philosophy because, you know, there's a bunch of reasons, but maybe they think that if you study philosophy, it means that your life's going nowhere. That's a stigma. Maybe it's that they kind of juxtapose it with practicalities. You know, if you're philosophizing, you're not really down to earth. That's another one. There's a bunch. But the study of philosophy is not philosophy. So everyone has their own definition, but usually the one I choose to use is something like the study or the practice of questioning yourself, the world around you, everything within yourself, everything within the world around you, kind of the dialogue between the world and yourself. And we can talk about how that's usually through language, but it's often about the meaning of things and why things have meaning and what meaning is, and you know, a lot of issues around that. And so my argument is that if you think things have meaning and you're ascribing meaning to things, that is doing philosophy. So then the question becomes, okay, well, why should I kind of admit that things have meaning? So here's where death comes into it. So here's the tricky thing about being alive and being a human is that we know that eventually we're going to die. And in my mind, you either have to admit to yourself that life is meaningless, in which case, why is it worth living? If it has no meaning, what's, getting you out of bed in the morning? Or you have to ascribe meaning to it. And that alone is enough to get you to be a philosopher, enough to get you philosophizing. It's why I think philosophy exists, because we need to give meaning to our lives because the chaotic world is inherently meaningless. There's no other force besides humanity giving meaning to our lives here on earth. So the fact that we die is the entire reason that we have things like language to describe the world. It's the entire reason that we have concepts like love and happiness and togetherness and society and humanity. Just the idea of humanity. That's an invention that we gave meaning to, I would argue, because we became aware of our own death. And the only way to cope with that is to kind of give yourself meaning. I often do this thought experiment where if you're the only person in the world, you can't give meaning to anything. Ethics is kind of, doesn't really make sense, because even if you think it's unethical to kill yourself and you're alone on the world and you kill yourself, who's there left to tell you that that was a bad thing to do, right? So really, it is our humanity. It is the fact that we know we will die that gives rise to meaning. And the questioning of this meaning, the kind of, coping with this reality is what philosophy is. So everyone does philosophy in that sense because everyone at some point or another kind of takes stock of their life in terms of, I got a finite amount of time here, So dumb philosophy is an acknowledgement that it's dumb to kind of pigeonhole philosophy into a syllabus or, cut off any group of people from the practice of philosophy. So we're going to be, dumbly philosophizing about things where we're going to intentionally not be researching these things. We're just going to kind of start a dialogue. Like, I don't know where it's going to go, but I would love if people got involved and there's some kind of interactive element to this. So just give me your feedback below, leave a comment, and looking forward to getting started. So thanks a lot for joining us.